Hello everyone, this is Carol here, and you just learned about adding two-digit numbers. And now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on adding three-digit numbers and different strategies that we can do to solve number stories where we will need to add three-digit numbers. Let's take a look at the problem. There are 246 girls at Franklin Elementary. There are 168 boys. How many students are there combined? So to solve this problem, again, I want to read it 2 times to make sure I understand what the problem is asking me. There are 246 girls at Franklin Elementary. There are 168 boys. How many students are there combined? If I'm combining the two parts, then I will be adding. That would be a part, and then a whole. Add end equals sum. So I need to figure out what the total is. Before I start adding, I'm going to actually do an estimate. And I'm actually going to estimate, I look at 246, and I notice that that is really close. I would think, is it closer to 200 or 300? And it is less than 250, so it'll be closer to 200. And then I can look at 168, and I can say, is that closer to 100 or 200? And since it is past 150, I would estimate that to 200 as well. And 200 plus 200 is 400. So my answer should be close to, or when I solve the problem, it should be close to 400. So let's take a look at a few different strategies that we can use to solve the problem. And then we're going to look at our estimate and see if our answer makes sense. And we'll talk a little bit more about that after we show our 3 different strategies. So the first strategy, of course, something you learned in kindergarten, first, and even second grade, is writing it in base 10 blocks. And so I am going to show you how to write 246 in base 10 blocks. And 2 flats, 4 longs, and 6 cubes equal 246. And now I'm going to write 168 in base 10 blocks. And that would be 1 flat, which is 100, 6 longs, and 8 small cubes. So what I could do is add these together, and when I add them together, I want to try to think about adding the similar pieces. So first I would add all of the flats, and that would be 100, 200, 300. So I have 300 there, and I've used them, so I've crossed them out. And then I'm going to take a look at my longs, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And luckily, we know 10 longs, 10 tens is equal to 100. So I'd write 100 down. And then I'm going to take a look finally at my small cubes, which are equal to 1s. And I would add them up together. And of course I know that 10 small cubes equals 110. So I could count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that would be 110. And then I have 4 ones left. That would be 4 ones. And when I put them all together, I have 300 plus 100 plus 10 and plus 4 equals 414 students. And that is just one strategy that I could use. The other strategy that I could use would be partial sums. Let me just show you that this is. There we go. We have base 10 and we have partial sums. So I'm going to show you partial sums, and I would write the numbers out in the digit forms. I have 246 plus 168. And when I take a look at 246, I'm going to look at each place value, and I know that 246 is 200 plus 40 plus 6. And we also know that is called expanded form. And then I'm going to look at 168, and I know 168 in expanded form is 100 plus 60 plus 8. And what I'm going to do is add each place value together, similar to what I did with the base 10 blocks. And this will give me a partial sum. It will give me part of the sum before I complete the problem to figure out the whole sum. When I would start with the hundreds, 200 plus 100 is 300. And then 40 plus 60, 4 tens plus 6 tens is 100. And then 6 plus 8 ones is 14 ones. So then I could add 300 and 100 together, which is 400, plus 14 ones is 414 students. And normally I would label that, but we are running out of room. Remember, always label your work. No naked numbers. Finally, I'm going to show a traditional strategy, or the trade first strategy. And let me just try to move that. So this is the trade first strategy. And I will again do 246 plus 168. And I'm taking a look at, I have hundreds, tens, and ones. And I want to make sure that I have them in the correct rows and in the correct place value. So I start with the ones, and I would say 6 ones plus 8 ones is 14 ones. But I can only put 4 ones in the ones place because 14 is 1 10 and 4 ones. And so I'll put the 1 up here for 110, since that's the tens place. 110 plus 4 tens plus 6 tens is 11 tens, which is also 110. But since I have 11 tens, I need to put a 1 in the tens place. 11 tens is also 110, which means I have a 100, and that would have to go in the 100s place. And so I have 100 plus 200 is 300, plus 1 more 100 would be 400. And so my answer, using the traditional way, or the trade first, is 414 students. Yay, I can label that one. But let's go back and real quick and talk about when we estimated and the reason we estimated. When we estimated, we said our answer would be close to 400. And so we want to take a look and say why our answer makes sense. And the reason our answer makes sense is because we did estimate first, and our answer, 414, is close to our estimate. So here's 414, and here was our estimate. It was 400. And so those two are close together. And many times, if you add incorrectly, your estimate will not be close to your exact answer. In this case, we did add correctly, and 414 is very close, actually only 14 away from 400. Remember, you have many different ways that you can add 3-digit numbers. Remember hundreds, tens, and ones when you're adding them together. And also remember that it is fine to use base 10 blocks, but as we get older and we go further up in the grades, we want to be more efficient in math. And so using partial sums or trade first / traditional way is much more efficient and will help us in getting our math problems done in a more efficient manner, especially when we're doing more than 2 steps in a problem. You did a great job with this. Keep working hard. Bye-bye.